Have you ever faced a loss so profound and deep that it felt like it's the end of your world, that your future has been lost in a way that you could never have imagined? How do you navigate the delicate balance between long-term healing and short-term comforts? Because sometimes you're just dealing with what you can do that day and you need things to help get you through the day. But those things may not help you long term. Today, I'm diving deep into my own personal journey of grieving my daughter who died at age 26. It's been 4.5 years since I lost her, and it's just an unimaginable loss. It's not just about surviving, it's about finding a way to thrive. So I'm reflecting on some of the tools that have helped me short term and I hope long term. I'm not an expert on grief, but in my 4.5 years, I've learned a lot of lessons. I'm living a life that I never imagined I could be living. This video is an invitation for you to explore these lessons with me. And although sometimes it might feel a bit raw, I hope this can help make a difference in your healing journey, or for someone maybe you're supporting or worried about who is on a grieving journey of their own. The reason that I thought to do this video was because I did a previous video talking about how in the early days when I chose the funeral director for Diva's funeral, I chose one that was literally around the corner. And this was a really great idea short term because I didn't want to go far. It was really hard going there. It meant the journey time was a lot less than it could have been. And I thought it was a good choice. 4.5 years on, when I have to drive past that funeral home 3 out of 4 times that I'm driving, it doesn't feel like a great choice. And obviously, when I shared the video talking about this, a lot of people hadn't thought of it either and hadn't realised that it may be affecting me each time I leave the house. But also other people expressed similar experiences. And I think because grief isn't talked about too much or in depth, these are lessons that aren't general knowledge. And I'm sure there are so many things that we wish we knew in the early days of grief. And I hope by sharing my grief journey, it can help others that are maybe on the start of their grief journey. Thinking back to Diva's funeral, or even before Diva's funeral, from the time she died, I made it very clear I didn't want flowers in my house. I didn't want Diva's death associated with flowers in my home. Flowers have always been a positive thing in my house. I enjoy having flowers in my house. And I knew that if people were giving me flowers when she died, it's going to take that positive association away, because flowers I tend to see as a way of celebrating. They symbolise hope and beauty. And although there were flowers on Diva's coffin and I encouraged people to come to the roadside and leave flowers for her, I didn't see why someone would give me flowers at this time, because I'm not celebrating. It isn't a celebration. Yeah, and I just didn't want that association long term. Little did I know, only just over a month after Diva died was my birthday. And I received a box of flowers, beautiful flowers, from Bloom and Wild. And I sat here in my living room opening them on my own. And I can't describe how it felt when I saw my daughter's name on them. And it turned out she'd ordered these flowers before she died. It's such a complex mix of emotions. But at the same time, those flowers were extremely important to me. And through that, I decided to have a subscription. So Bloom and Wild were one of Diva's favourite florists, and they do a monthly subscription that you can take on for 3 months, 6 months or a year. So I took on a subscription. so that every month I would receive some flowers associated with Diva. And they also have a card inside, which you can write your own, write a message to whoever you're sending it to. But obviously I'm sending it to myself. So I would write a positive message to myself in the future. So obviously you have so many emotions that you're going through when you're grieving. So I would just remind myself to be kind to myself, or that I am doing the best I can do. Sometimes if there was someone in the house, I would ask them to write a message for me. And this as well was inspired by Diva, because Diva used to email herself in the future. She would email herself a positive email telling herself how wonderful she's doing. In particular, like say at the time of exams or a stressful time that was coming up, she would just remind herself how amazing she was. So yeah, so I've been doing that for 4 years or more. And it's really helped, because some days I would be feeling really low, maybe having a really difficult day, and the flowers would arrive. And then, the fact they don't come as already packaged. You have to trim the flowers and arrange them. And it's a really nice thing to do when you feel like you can't do much at all. I felt this was a lovely way to honour Diva's memory. Recently I've put that on hold, but it's because, well, it will all become clear later. But there's a few things that I've had to change because I need to prioritise my finances. But it was a great thing to be doing short term, but also long term. And I will go back to subscribing. Another thing that really helped was ordering food from Mindful Chef. I couldn't cope with deciding what I'm going to eat every day and then having to go out and buy the ingredients, maybe measure certain ingredients and then cook. So Mindful Chef took all that away from me. Concept is that you choose your recipes, but even that was too much for me. The food would just arrive on a Sunday with random meals that they thought I might like. And honestly, some of those meals I would look at and think, what is this? And many of the recipes I would never have thought to try. I would never have done it, but they came. I would look at it. You have to prepare the vegetables and all the meals take about 20 minutes, half an hour to cook. So it's not, a big mission to cook a really healthy, nutritious meal. And some of those meals were so full of flavour, and I enjoyed it. It was a time of day that I enjoyed, and even more so because I was trying different foods as well. And things like that keep you in the moment, even if it's just for a short time. I've also put that on pause, but I will come back to it. But obviously, I've got plans. Instead, now I've paid a subscription to Breethe. It's a mindfulness app, and it comes with lots of options. When I first downloaded it, it asked me lots of questions about what support I needed, what difficulties I was having. And now I have an AI coach on there, and I can't believe how human it seems. Obviously, it doesn't replace humans, but I can sound out thoughts without feeling like I'm a burden on friends. I know I'm not a burden on friends, but sometimes you have those feelings that you don't want to just be checking with friends all the time before you do something, or checking with them whether your thinking is right. It also recommends mindfulness audio to support me, depending on what I've been talking about with it on the app. That's been really useful as well, because I tend to have a lot of problems with sleep and focusing as well. And that's the other thing with using the app, it kind of makes me focus. I will decide before I open the app what I want to talk about, and then I focus on it. And the AI app will give me ideas, suggestions, and quite often will just validate what I'm feeling. One of the reasons I have downloaded this app is because I'm at another crossroads where I'm not sure what my future looks like, but I'm ready to start thinking about it a little bit more. And I need to try and decide where my priorities lie and what do I need for the future. I need to be finding some goals and some direction. My whole world has turned upside down, and it's easy to get lost in grief, and it's hard to see your future when your future has been built around someone so close and important to you, and now they're not there. So my world is just completely different, and it's easy for people to say, to look at what you've got, and and you have other people in your life, but actually it's not that easy. So what I am aiming to do is, I feel like I need some real proper quality time by myself, engaging with people when I want to engage with them, but at the same time having enough space that I don't have to worry about anyone else or how anyone else is feeling, or the chores that are involved with running your house and general day-to-day life. So I want to go away. But also, I've been thinking about a place that I visited in 2019, and this was when I was on a cruise ship, and we just stopped for the day at we got off at St. Thomas in the US Virgin Islands, and then caught a little boat over to St. John. Now you're talking, this holiday was amazing. I saw so many beautiful places, but St. John, and it just blew me away, and it felt so peaceful, and I've just been craving to go back there so badly lately, and I just feel quite sure that is what I need. And I need to find that peaceful place where I can feel safe, and to journal, maybe write a book, maybe use local services such as, maybe there's a yoga class or drumming class, take advantage of what that island offers, as well as doing what I feel I need that I can take with me. I want to use that time to navigate my emotions more in depth and be able to fall apart if that's what my body needs, and have no schedule. I'll have no schedule. I can just be. So this brings me back to Diva again, and all roads lead back to Diva. And I hope this is a sign that she is travelling with me as well, because I remember Diva telling me that I need to write in a book. I need to have a journal next to my bed, and whatever I want, I need to write in it, but I need to write in it as though it is happening now. So, for instance, I was having a really difficult time with my manager, and it was just a really tough time, and I just felt so ignored, not respected, not listened to, not valued, and I wanted my work to value my voice more, and for me not to feel so ignored. So I put this book next to my bed, and every night I would be thinking, I didn't write in that book, but when I do, I'm going to write, and I'd think about it, about what I was going to write in the book. But of course, I'm thinking of what I'm writing in the book in present tense, as though it's happening already. Before I knew it, it actually worked. And randomly, I started feeling respected. I started being told I was respected. So I need to be writing that being here in St. John's, I am loving the feeling of the sand between my toes, the gentle sound of the waves crashing. So I need to write that being here in St. John's and feeling the sand between my toes, hearing the crashing of the gentle waves, and exploring and fully emerging in myself emotionally into creating mental clarity to what my future self needs feels amazing. Now, this is inspired by Diva, who was initially inspired by Dr. Tara Swart. Now, Diva would never just take advice and run with it. She would have to research it. And Dr. Tara Swart is a neuroscientist, and I can completely see why Diva loved this idea and fully believed it. So also Dr. Tara Swart talks about writing vision boards. So I have been creating a vision board. Nothing's stuck down yet because I'm needing photos from St. John's, as well as some other places I would really love to visit. Grief is so messy and it can feel so overwhelming. And I think by using different tools or strategies, whether it be in the moment to just keep going that day, or whether they're long-term strategies, it's important to keep looking at what you're doing and thinking about whether it helps, and be open to trying new things, be open to exploring different ways of thinking, different tools, apps. I mean, even a year ago, I would never have thought I would be using an AI coach, let alone that it would have been helpful to me. But whether it's, you know, journaling, vision boards, apps, ordering flowers, food, you know, whatever you're doing, please look, like, is it helping you short term or is it a long term support? Where are you now with it? Is it something maybe you can pause and look at whether it is actually helping? Is it a support? You know, sometimes you can appreciate how far you've come by just removing the odd tool and realising, do you know what, I can still cook without Mindful Chef sending me a recipe box with the ingredients. But I have just found them so helpful. The things I've mentioned today, as well as others. I will talk about others on another day. But if you're trying to navigate your own grief, please know it's okay to feel joy in some moments, to search for calmness amidst the pain. Explore what tools work for you, and if you can suggest any, please do include them in the comments. Maybe I haven't tried them and I would like to try them, or somebody else watching may want to give it a go. I'm open to suggestions. Have you explored any countries? Have you found any countries in particular calming and a safe space to really hold you while you're grieving? Thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have liked this video, please like, please subscribe, and please share with anyone that you think it may help. I really hope that this video has helped shine a bit of light and a bit of hope on your day, and that you're feeling brighter than you were feeling when you started. Thank you so much.